Hello, I'm Frank Hanshi. This is The Wave. Thank you for joining us on this debut program. When it comes to Thailand, what do you think of? Sometimes people want to go to south to see the natural view in Phuket. Some people want to go to north to experience ancient temples in Chiang Mai. But most of the tourists, they are fond of sitting in these three-wheel vehicles. In Thailand, we call Tuk Tuk, but it also causes the air and noise pollution. In 2017, we have one startup to give solution on this transportation, conventional transportation with electricity. Today, we have Mr. Supapon Gidiwatanasat, the co-founder of Urban Mobility Tech. Great to have you on the show. Hi. So before we get into those specific topics, I think I want to give my audience some statistics. Right now, the electric vehicle, we call it MuvMi, and we have 6 million active users since 2017. And in 2023, we have 500 vehicles, and your target is to expand to 1,000 by the end of this year. So before we get into a really specific topic, could you please talk about MuvMi shortly?
First, we are a startup company that founded by 4 founders that we want to solve the public transportation problem in Bangkok. So we think that there's a lot of opportunity for new alternative solution to promote people to use more public transportation, which is we think that it has to be more sustainable way. So we choose the EV technologies through like on-demand apps, and in the same time we use the algorithm to match the people who travel in the same way into the same vehicles to make it more affordable.
Yeah, so as what you said, the alternative way for people to travel in the city is really important. But actually, I give you a statistics now. In the year of 2023, that one research institute gives us one statistics that 22 million motorbikes have been registered in government system. So why you choose Tuk Tuk at the first place rather than motorbike?
It's from our first goal that to make this new solution work, we have 3 core values. 1, it has to be affordable. 2, it has to be safe. 3, it has to be cleaner. Triangle is something that we are stick on because we want to create this service to have the impact to change people behavior. And these triangle values is something we stick on. And we think that Tuk Tuk serve it well in terms of safety. That is something that we are very strict on. Another way is like the Tuk Tuk itself, it can serve more people, so that can match people into the same vehicle. So that create our more chance to make it more affordable. That's why we choose this one. And in the same time, Tuk Tuk itself, it can serve very well in Bangkok special geographic, because we have a lot of big street, and in the same time we have a lot of small road connect together. So Tuk Tuk is something that can maneuver very fast and very flexible. When you face like a very bad traffic, you can choose a new way really easy. So that can enable us to serve customer better.
So that's the reason why part of the tourists, they come to Thailand because they want to sit in the Tuk Tuk, and especially as what you said, green. One of your core value is green. So that's why MuvMi wants to provide this service, not just conventional transportation, but also green transportation. Because you talk about the core value of green, I want to ask you about this question. What's the strategy of MuvMi's environmental strategy? How much has MuvMi saved in terms of greenhouse gas?
Our EV fleet, we have 500 vehicles. We have accumulated about 15 million kilometers mileage all in our fleet. And total, according to the TIVR standard that we already registered, we have saved about 1,400 tons of CO2 emissions that equivalent that we have created like a 12 to 14 big park in Bangkok.
Yeah. See, that's the one of the core value that you want to achieve, right? So what you said, 12 and 14 big parks in Bangkok. This is really astonishing and of course advantageous for the environment in Thailand. One part of the question I want to ask is about quite technical, but it's quite interesting. Like how long could this electric tuk-tuk run in the city after fully charged?
We choose the fast charge technology right now, and one charge it can run up to like 80 to 100 kilometers per charge. But that fast charge that we use is like a 20 minute to 30 minutes charging only.
Oh,
Yeah.
until fully charged.
Yes.
Wow, that's really good
That,
technology.
that's why we can achieve in terms of like fleet management to make it affordable as well, because the asset is something that we have to invest. So we have to try as much as possible to let our vehicle can be run on the street every day.
So, sorry, again, how many kilometers?
80 kilometers
80 kilometers.
up to 100 kilometers
Oh,
up.
up to 100.
Yeah, it depends on how fast you want to go. Yeah.
It depends on the driver's technique,
Yeah.
right? So 80 to 100 kilometers, that's really good. So it kind of like it takes only 20 to 30 minutes, but you can run 100 kilometers.
Yes,
Depends
correct.
on where to go and what the technique and how the driver's technique to drive. Let's take the time back to 2017. It's the beginning of MuvMi, beginning of urban mobility tech. I want to understand because when you establish MuvMi or UMT, of course it's a startup from the beginning. Have you got any financial support from any fund? What's the strategy? What's the way?
At first, it's quite challenging because it's like 5 to 6 years ago. EV is something people still question, right? It's not like today that people know that it's already coming. 6 years ago, EV or not EV, still the question on the direction. So at that time, during that time, we think that it's still very difficult to make people believe what we are believe. So the only way to make it happen is do it by ourselves first. So we first start from our own fund, and then we got like funding from NIA, which give us a fund to make the first prototype of EV, and it took us about 1.5 years to finish the first prototype to run and test and to show how the business is going to work with the EV. So it's quite challenging because at that time it's not so much option in the market, because EV industry is still very small market. It's not so much option to choose to bring to use. We have to find by ourselves, make everything by ourselves.
That was the challenge period, as what you said, the question mark there is EV or not EV. Should we choose another like hybrid type or just EV oriented? One question here, is it possible to get the number of the funding from NIA, how much you get? Is it possible to talk about it?
Sorry.
Oh, it's confidential. It's okay. Yeah, of course. But relating to the business strategy, because this is from the beginning, and now we in 2023. Of course, 7 years went by. Of course, you're Thai. In Thailand society, we have wing motorbike taxi, actually, I can call it. So in each part of the city, for example, next to the BTS station, next to any condo, there might be one station for wing taxi motorbike. So the point is, how would you compare yourself, MuvMi, with the wing motorbike? Because this is really important. As in before you join, I think many people, of course, they use the wing motorbike to go to BTS station, to go to their office, and right now you join the game.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? How would you compare yourself to that?
At first, we look at ourselves, and our goal is to create the alternative way of transportation. We're not going to replace anyone, but we see that there's the gap in the market, that the conventional way the old style motorbike or taxi or buses cannot serve on that market. That we enable that through our technologies. So we are not going to replace anyone, but we think that we're gonna fill in where they cannot serve it. So that's our strategy, and we have the belief that the good mobility is the power of choice. We have to let people and the customer have their choice. You cannot win everything. You cannot win every time, but you have to let each of type of service run more efficiently where they have to be. For example, like motorcycle is very fast and it's always win in the bad traffic like Bangkok. That you have to stuck there, right? So if you want to move, you have to use motorbike. This is where we cannot win. But in order to make that one more efficiently, we don't compete on that. But sometimes it's like when you get from BTS station, you come down, you can take the wind, go to the restaurant, enjoy your meals. But when you have to come back to BTS, there's no wind. So we can bring people back. And in order to do that, is make the customer feel it's good in this community, right? That this community have a very good mobility, so they come back and create some kind of like effect that create the overall people win, because the local business have more business and the services around this one have more customer. It create this kind of effect. That's our goal.
You're talking about a lot of significant points here, but I want to challenge you on one point. It's about as quote unquote, you say nightmare in Bangkok is the traffic. Yeah. So kind of like, of course, Wing, taxi, motorbike, they have the mobility to go anywhere when the traffic is bad. But if for group travel, like 4 people, 3 people, if we want to travel together, of course, we cannot jump on one taxi. Yeah. That's the advantage. Yeah. One point here is about, actually, according to some users' experience, including mine, sometimes we have to spend maybe 10 to 20 minutes to wait for MuvMi to come to pick us up. How to fix this problem?
Actually, we have to say like, in every mobility business, there's always this kind of effect. It's like there's a peak time and there's a low times. And during the peak time, everyone want to move. And once everyone want to move, the traffic is bad. And there's always a demand that we cannot meet. So we're trying to solve this one through our algorithm first, because we create more efficiency through sharing. Another way is also we try to put more of the vehicle to have people have more chance to serve the demand that happens. In the same time that we have to try to educate people as well that there's like another ways of alternative way as well that we cannot win. And in some situation that I already mentioned that you can have use motorbike instead of us because you are in rush, this kind of thing.
Right. So it's not competitive. Like you're not competing.
We are not competing.
With Wing.
We are not competing.
You just give alternative.
Yes.
For the users and population.
I have to mention that alternative is not just like alternative, but we have some value that they cannot replace us in terms of safety. In some time that you can travel like in the raining season, this is something that they cannot replace us as well. And also when you travel with a lot of stuff, grocery stuff, or travel with kids, travel with your pets, this is something that we can serve.
Yeah, this is the unique angle that MuvMi can be advantageous than Wing motorcycle, Wing motorbike on the ground. Another question I think is really important because, of course, in Thailand, the Thailand society is going to transform to be aging society. So more and more elderly citizens they are in the society. Maybe they would like to use your service too. How would you make your service more user-friendly for those elderly group?
Actually, the elderly people is from our data is become like growing customer base of MuvMi because they have the very specific criteria. Normally, especially in Thailand, the elderly have to live with their children, and whenever they want to go anywhere, they have to until weekend to someone who have time to bring them around. But during weekday, they cannot go anywhere. They have to stuck in the house because of what? Because there's no such like a public transportation for them. They cannot walk so far outside to get a bus, even climb up to get a bus, or walk outside to call the taxi. And most of the elderly, they are very concerned about the price because they don't have any income. They are very concerned about the expenses. So they will not use much of the taxi if they don't have to. So MuvMi become the solution of this one. And it happened before because of there's a lot of elderly that have recommend from their grandson, granddaughter, or their children to, oh, why don't you use this one? But of course, apps is something that it sounds like very not suitable for the elderly. But we found that actually they know they can learn this one quite fast as well. And there's a lot of community that have helped each other to enable them to use this one. In the same time, our vehicle play in a very good, very important part of this one. You might have noticed that our Tuk Tuk is totally redesigned for anyone can get in and get out very easy. The conventional Tuk Tuk you have to climb up to sit very high, but our Tuk Tuk you can just one step up and sit down very easy one. And this is very good for elderly who have a very not so good mobility on themselves. Another thing is about safety as well, that we have some kind like a community effect because our driver is the same driver that drive around. So they become like, oh, they know this house is have the elderly, they can talk, they can help, they can a little bit give some kind of safety feeling that they know the drivers and they can help this one. That let the elderly feel like, oh, this is something that can use easier. And this is something that happen more and more to our customer base.
So those of strategy that really benefits the community. First, I think it's of course, the user-friendly design, not just for young generation, also for elderly group. I think second point that here is to building the sense of community, this close friendship, I would call it, or close relationships in between like drivers and users. I think, of course, in all cases of business, you build up, you head up, and some companies, they will follow. So of course, as what you said to me earlier off camera, you said that you couldn't just stay here and you do not do any diverse plans to get more income. So as what I said right now, what you have MuvMi, you provide one-way service. You also provide one-day trip for tourists. How would you maintain the leadership of MuvMi in this EV market at this moment, and how would you diversify your service to gain more advantage in the market?
Okay, at first, like we look at ourselves as a service company. We don't look at ourselves as like a hardware company or only focus on EV only. We have the customer base. We know the customer. We have the algorithms. We have the fleet management. We have the efficiency to run any type of asset, any type of vehicle. So we will not only stop with three-wheeler only, not only tuk-tuk. We have tests with many types of EV vehicles, four-wheelers, van, or even a bus, or even like a 2 แถว. We believe that our service, our system can manage any type of mobility to match the demand and to what's so called to enable what's so called we try to call it like a mobility that can be customizable up to your demand, because we see that there's a lot of city around the world, not only in Thailand, not only in Southeast Asia, that have faced the same thing, that city already changed, but the solution cannot be changed that easy. And mobility is something like a very asset-heavy investment, but with our system, our fleet management system, we can enable that with really less investment.
Great. So I think you talk about algorithm a lot because you, of course you use algorithm to calculate and to see which part of the city is traffic jam at this moment. Do you use AI to control or to see, to analyze the
I would
the traffic?
call this, I don't know if it's going to be AI or not, but it's like we have 500 vehicles. And in the same time, we have like 1,000 customer asking for the vehicles. So we cannot do it manually. It has to be the system to control and manage all the things. And not only to match the demand, but it also have to be manage the fleet, which is an EV fleet, to know all the factor that can affect in terms of services. Not only to that, also have to maximize our experience, total experience on that one, that have to be enabled in the system.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like learning from our operation and improve it all the times.
It's kind of like, of course, you get experience
Yes.
and you get feedback from users
Yes.
and to understand what you
Yes.
have to improve.
And we have a lot of more data collecting. Every kilometer, right? We have more data that to calculate and to factor out all the, because we operate on the street, right? Anything can happen all the time. And to operate in that one is more efficiency is about how to respond fast enough to the external factor that happen.
Yeah, kind of like if something happened on the street, what would you communicate with driver? Last question, really quick. Are you profitable at this moment?
Oh no, sorry.
You cannot talk about this.
We hope to be profit, but we are startup.
Yeah.
We haven't profit yet. We still on a state of less fund to expand it,
Yeah.
but we are more and more close to that point because we still expand. It's still not profit, but we have learned to how to make it happen.
Good. So you believe that in this system, in this frame, you could get profitable in the future, of course.
Of course.
Thank you today for the co-founder of Urban Mobility Tech, Mr. Supaporn Giriwattana.
ครับ
ขอบคุณมาก
ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you.
ครับ